Hello. It
Hello.
is, hey, hello, internets. It is I, Wullie, with my special guest, the mighty Welshman known as Peephole Circus. Good evening, peeps.
Good evening, Willie. Nice to be here. I've watched all your shows.
I know, it's great. It's like it's always fun to see you're in the chat, and I know you're probably working on some incredible and perhaps twisted piece of artwork while you're watching.
Mostly twisted, but yeah.
You're very critical of your own work, but it's all good. It's all good stuff, incredible stuff. It really is. So I think what we'll do is, I think actually what we'll do is I'm going to share your campaign first before we start talking.
All right.
Okay. So I think we'll do that first just to get us started. I still don't know what I'm doing with this StreamYards.
So I haven't got a clue. Don't worry about it.
I have everything organised. Yeah, and then I just, strange things happen. I was getting confused there as to what I was doing. But yeah, let's do that. Let's start with that, just in case anybody pops into the chat that doesn't know who you are, which I doubt very much.
Lots of people don't know who I am.
Not who watch.
Statistically.
Yeah, not amongst the people who watch my show. Right. Application window. There you go. Share. Right. Coming up at you. Okay. So yeah. Yes. So you are essentially you've created a fantastic little art book. Everything that we've had on here and most of the shows have been like comics, but you've done this great looking A5 size art book called Phantom. I want people to just have a quick look to see just some of your work. Because I said what incredible and twisted, and now they can see exactly what I mean by incredible and twisted.
Yeah, it's just packed with a bunch of weird drawings, paintings and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, a few people have started out with art books, and yeah, I was going to make a zine. It turned into a book, and then from black and white to black and white and color. And this is the end result, which should be getting posted out next month, all going well.
Brilliant. I can hardly wait. Again, I wanted people to have a look at this too before we start, because we're going to be talking about a very eclectic mix of influences and artists and work that you like. So yeah, it's indeed, you work with mixed media. You don't tie yourself down to one particular medium, and you work with pretty much anything that comes to hand, I think, by the look of it.
Yeah, the fun is always like going into a craft place or an art store, and you just look around, anything that takes your interest, wonder what this does or what this mixes with, and yeah, that's the fun of it.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to be teaching mixed media next week.
Oh, nice.
So I might just be asking you for some tips.
Use everything.
Yeah.
But not everything, but mostly.
Yeah. I remember my art teacher used to say, if you can draw with a pencil, you can draw with charcoal. If you can draw with charcoal, you can draw with a stick and dirt.
Yeah.
You're like, fair enough. That's a good way of looking at it. So that's that one.
It's the same enjoyment, isn't it? That pleasure of you do something and then you can just sit back and look at it.
That's it. It's although I like to kind of try and think about exactly what that's like when you apply the sort of the McLuhan sort of medium as a message to it,
Yeah.
So what do people take from actually looking at the different media? Yeah. Think about that, folks.
I like that kind of stuff. Just, it's good.
Yeah, me too. I'm just going to, we have our friend Statistical Zero. Stato. He's saying hi to the chat. Hi to you. And hi to me. Yep. We, as always, thanks for turning up, the mighty Bristolian Dave.
Hey, Dave.
And Carl himself, Carl Stefan Chubb, the creator of Mary Boys.
What's up, Chubb? It's weird. Like I've seen stat in the in the chat, and I feel like I'm taken over his over his place.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we need to do a statistical zero show, and at some point, and find out what his comic book goal does. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, it would. Yeah,
it'll be confusing as well because I'll probably start talking about James Bond or Freddy Krueger.
As you do.
As you do, I know. But the whole point of this show is just to kind of like chill and talk about the things that you like, and a lot of the things that you like. It's actually pretty much all of the things you like are things that I like as well. So this should be fun, at least for us.
Yeah, that's all that counts.
It really is all that counts. That's why I do this. I just do this, for my self gratification and for the gratification of those I have on with me. So let's have a little look. I'm going to bring up. Essentially coming BBC 2 at 9 o'clock. I'm going to bring up your first choice here, Mr. Circus.
Yes. Caravaggio,
yeah. Okay. When did you first become aware of Caravaggio's paintings?
Now, when you say aware of them, like knowing who actually painted them was like probably not that long ago, 7 or 8 years ago.
Right.
But I was aware of them for a long time. But my painting thing has only been over the last like 7 odd years. So
really,
yeah. So but when I started getting into it, I remember this. I used to like this, and then it's like once you start on this, it's like there's no end to it. But Caravaggio is just the images there. That strong contrast and the light, it is very appealing to me, and prompted me to
chiaroscuro. That's chiaroscuro. That's what they called it.
Is it?
The contrast and light, and the way that he painted.
Yeah, but it's beautiful, man. Just and then you can get to see some of his work in the National and things, and it's just amazing.
Yeah. I was actually just talking to my wife earlier on tonight about because we saw some of his work in the Vatican, but I can't for the life of me remember exactly what work it was because it's crazy in there with so many people jostling around.
I bet.
But just the sheer scale of it.
That's it. The scale of some of these paintings when you go in the galleries are just like. You start walking around. I've seen that from when I was a kid. Some pictures, some drawings, and obviously they're on little postcards and things. So you don't realize that they're absolutely massive. Some of them.
Yeah,
it's enormous.
It was what I first became aware of him. I think through the Derek Jarman film.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Have you not seen that? Yeah, well, Derek Jarman made a movie, Caravaggio, and. If you've seen any of his films, you'll know what to expect in some respects. It's not a straightforward. It's very kind of theatrical, and he has like bodies kind of like posing as the paintings and all this kind of stuff.
That sounds great.
It's quite interesting. Yeah, I think the BFI have it out on DVD and Blu-ray, so it's probably available to watch on their website, I think.
Oh man, I'll have to check that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's going to be a hell of a story as well, because Caravaggio, he was a maniac.
Yeah, he was. He loved life, and he may well have taken it as well.
But yeah, he did. He killed that guy, didn't he?
Yeah.
Apparently, he was. The argument was probably about some woman, and I think he tried to castrate this guy with a sword. But ended up stabbing him in the thigh, cutting his what do you call it, vein,
the artery,
female artery, is it?
That could well be, yeah. We should know, shouldn't we? We really should know that as artists.
It's on the inside, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We just look at the muscles, that's right. We don't bother reading the words that tell us what everything is. But yeah, I'm guessing that he would have been more successful. He probably was drunk as well, so that's why.
Yeah, like I said, total maniac. The stuff he got up to, he ended up in Malta at one point, joining the Knights of Malta, didn't he?
Yeah, that was that like there towards the end before he mysteriously disappeared and died.
Yeah. And I think it's because of all the, he had a death warrant wherever out for him, but he could just bring his head back if he wanted to. Yeah. And you can see it all in his paintings as it goes towards the end, like the dark, like the really dark paintings. I think that's why his images struck me as a kid. I've always been drawn to the darkest kind of things, and there was plenty there.
There is indeed. I'll say hi to Cap, as in the chat.
Hey, Cap.
The painting on the right is it's a religious painting, and it's kind of unique because one thing Caravaggio did was he tried to make everything as real as he could.
Yeah.
So it was real people that he wanted to paint, and even his religious stuff, it wasn't really. It was none of that. Although you see it in the other painting, with the cherubs and that kind of stuff, none of it looks like that kind of airy, fairy, floaty kind of stuff that was prevalent at the time. It's very much there's weight and realism to everything.
That's it. It got him into a lot of trouble as well, didn't it?
Yeah, because if there's no reverence there for the subject matter, so I think that's a problem. But I think there is. It's just different.
Yes, a different take on just mortality and his own mortality because of the. That's right, double. That was good. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to quickly move on to the next slide, which is that fantastic Roman caravan that he painted. No, again, that's kind of like. I think what we're talking about there, it's like even when he does bring in angels and stuff like that, it's like they're there, they're solid, they're in the room with you. There's
like you see a lot of these paintings from other people, and like you said, things are angelic and it's almost like a Disney-esque kind of quality to the when you get these things. But with Caravaggio, it's just like I wouldn't like to be that guy. Even if there is like angels, it just looks creepy.
Yeah, I mean, there was one or two that I was going to put up, but I thought YouTube might strike me if I did.
Yeah.
But it's creepy, but there's also I think he was obsessed with like sex and death, as a lot of artists are.
Yeah, and he lived his life like that, so it's a reflection of his life through these paintings. It seems like everywhere he went there was trouble, there was women and fighting, and the church and everything. Just madness. What a life.
Those were the days.
Yeah, good times.
Right. I just I put this up here because again I just liked it's Greek mythology, of course. It's Medusa, and at a purely shallow level, it reminded me a lot of Clash of the Titans.
Whenever I think of Medusa, it is always Clash of the Titans because that is one of the best depictions of it ever, I think.
Yeah, it is, and I wonder if I'm pretty sure when I saw this and looked at this, because I hadn't seen it before until I was doing some research for tonight. I'm pretty sure Ray Harryhausen saw this because. I don't know. There's a sense that he did. I think he did.
I think Caravaggio was a fan of Clash of the Titans.
I think he might have been. He probably some drunken fevered dream that he had. He witnessed the future. He saw Ray Harryhausen's work at that moment. That was it.
But again, like he had that warrant out for his like arrest where he could be taken back dead and get paid or whatever. So, or they could just bring the head back. So he knew there were people out there,
indeed,
looking for him to cut his head off.
Coming to get him.
And you look at the amount of paintings he did with people getting their heads cut off. You can see all this stuff, working, coming out.
Yeah,
he even painted a picture of a Sabbath Head, which is his own head, didn't he? And
he was very grotesque and kind of grand guignol, that kind of aspect to a lot of his work. which I think is why a lot of artists gravitate towards him.
Yes.
Now, again, talking about the violence as well, you weren't seeing violence like this, I don't think, in other artists' work. It was like very visceral.
Yeah.
Now the big painting here we know as a Caravaggio, and exactly life size. So these figures are the size of you when you're looking at them in the wall. Or
you can imagine that back in the day as well, and that's where they used to have some of the brutal things in Malta, because the knights where they were trained, they have that Caravaggio piece there, don't they?
Yeah. Just hey, Caroline.
Hey, Caroline.
This is one of these ones where on the left here, just to explain to people why there's a big question mark. This was a found piece of art that some experts believe was a lost Caravaggio, which was another version of this painting. And there are others who are experts who are dubious as to whether it was a Caravaggio.
Yeah.
What do you think? We'll prove it tonight. We'll prove it.
I'll tell you whether it is or not right now. Ready?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It is a thing.
I don't know. There you have it, guys.
there is a thing back in the days. They would have people, much like flatters in a comic thing. You get people to do the kind of the work before you jump into it. So it could have been one of his apprentices or something like that. Do you know what I mean? That does happen.
That seems like that seems like a good call. I look at it and I think if it was him, he did it and thought that's not working, I need to do this whole painting again, because it's not as good.
No.
Why is the drapery different as well? Why did he even bother changing the drapery? The composition doesn't seem like one of his compositions.
No.
Simply because I think because the drapery, it just kind of like throws me. And also when you look at the larger painting here, if you look at the faces of the two women, they look more like the kind of expressions he would have had in his paintings, more so than the other two.
It does. Face is like you see the same faces turning up in a lot of paintings, don't you? Because the models with and I don't see it. It doesn't look right.
Yeah, I know that as well. So I think
the glazing, like the painters do stuff. You do the process, the glazing, which the assistants did used to do that process, the underlying things, just because it just saved time. But you can see it's not as refined, is it, on the left?
No, it's not. I don't think it's him. I don't care what the experts say. I think they must have a cut in it or something that would make some money from it, but it just doesn't look like his other work. But then again, if it could better be him, and he thought, "God, I hate this." But if I do something that I hate, I usually just tear it up and throw it away.
Yeah, I draw over it. Or painters usually just paint over it, don't they?
Just paint over it because they've got perfectly good canvas.
Yeah,
keep working on it.
Exactly.
Right, we've solved that one. Right, so how did he die?
No, I don't think anybody really knows. There are theories. Again, one of the main ones is the Knights of Malta. They were after him. He was being pursued. His whole life he was being pursued. So he was, he was everywhere.
Yeah, because it was like it was about to get some kind of a pardon or whatever. They were going to allow him to come back to Rome, I believe. That was on the cards. It was going to be like he could finally come back.
That would never work out.
No,
because he always messes it up.
Yep. So you got to. I mean, all the problems around him. Maybe he was a problem.
Exactly.
That's the one. That's the one I like. The idea that he was assassinated and killed by knights.
Yes.
For revenge. If I was to turn this into a movie or a comic book, that's the one I'd be going with.
Yeah, me too. On another note as well, did you ever see his? Because there was another artist that he did poems about. Did you ever see those?
No, I did not.
Right. Yeah. I don't think we could air them.
Oh, right.
They're really filthy. But look those up.
Well, you know, they might well be in. It's been that long since I've seen the movie. They might well be in the movie because it's a bit like that. It's a Derek Jarman, so you know.
Right. Okay.
Cool. Caravaggio. Anything else you want to say about his work? Is there anything in particular that maybe you want me to Google and show?
No, not really. For me, like it's not a single piece. It's as a whole. You know, you look at his life and the stuff as it happens, and almost each of his drawings paintings have these stories to them. You know, up to that one with the church where he got the horse's arse facing the picture in the middle where he was.
Yes, yeah. I was looking at that one today, and I thought, I should have included that.
Yeah, but the more you go into it, you can just pick loads of them. A psychopath genius, just great.
Something I didn't do, which I'm going to do just now, as I'm going to do a quick search, because I wonder if this would be made into a comic in Europe. Hit story.
Huh. Actually, that was a point I was going to make. Is these could be like comic panels, you know, and we're going to talk about somebody else in a bit, but I'll keep it for that. But
Caravaggio by Milo Manara did a graphic novel of Caravaggio.
Oh, nice.
Right. There we go then. I knew somebody in Europe would have done that. One of the, whether it was Mobius or somebody, I knew somebody would have done that.
That sounds like something I'm going to have to. Yeah, I'm going to
have to buy that now. Because Manara did the Borgias with Jodorowsky. I've got that, so yeah, I'm going to have to get this one now.
Oh, nice.
It's probably a print. We'll have to spend a lot of money on
it. Not as much as a Caravaggio.
No,
it costs at least £200.
It does indeed.
But yeah. Oh, Ted McKeever.
Hang on a minute.
Oh, sorry. Died traveling back to.
There we go.
Yes, he did send him that. Like I said, that.
Is it the head?
Paint of his, yeah.
But but whether he was killed by the Knights, we do not. I mean, it's either that
nobody knows.
Time travel, and he.
God, yeah. But there would be records of each person's death in the Book of the Dead, but apparently during that period when he died, the priest or wherever was in jail for a few months. So there's a big gap in the people who died, unfortunately. So nobody will ever know.
So from Caravaggio to Eddie Current, the first comic I believe it's the first comic done by Ted McKeever.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your first Ted McKeever comic?
My first Ted McKeever. Do you know what? I've got a few things here. My introduction to Ted McKeever was in the Hellraiser comics. Do you remember the
the epic Hellraisers. Yeah, it's Marvel's epic line, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was this one.
Ah, yeah.
And inside there was this, and in between you'd get these other little bits as well. But that was my introduction to Ted's. Sorry, turn this back off.
That was mine as well. I'd seen his work but never bought anything. I mean, that's the first thing I bought that had his work in it. Yeah.
Yes. But I saw it and I was like, "What the fuck?" Sorry, my language. What the hell was that? Yeah, and ever since I loved it, and I find it, to be honest with you, I find reading his work difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not difficult, but like really, I just want to look at the pictures and in my own mind, I'll make this whole read a few things, but make this whole thing up, and you get what I mean.
Yep, I know.
But
what you mean.
I get so drawn into that little world he has. So I saw those. Obviously, I went to Metropole then, and I still got my Metropole here. And along the way, just picked up a bunch of stuff like the Doom Patrols, and actually, this is one of my first ones as well. Where he did the Batman. What's it called? Engines? Yeah, Engines. And it's pretty crazy, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
Crazy Batman. But I love the line weights that he uses, and he just seems to do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here just reading it now.
Okay, start reading it. I've got some of his Batman black and white here.
Yeah, I've got that one. This one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, this is another one. I think that is definitely one of my favorite Batman story with just Batman. I love it. Absolutely, think it's great. Can't beat it.
I think he's kind of like he's got qualities of shade and light that somebody like Mike Mignola has. But Mike Mignola uses, I think he uses that to kind of cover up things, if that makes sense to you.
Yes.
Whereas Ted McKeever looks as if he's fighting with it to make it work. It's far more interesting, I think, because that's the sense I get from it.
Yes, he does. You can. I wish I could have. I don't have a mirror. They're over my parents' place, which I can't get to at the moment. But I own a bunch of his original artwork from Mondo. I've got about, I think, 3 pages. But you can see from that and other things where he's the use of whiteout here and just here and there. Where he's, like you said, he seems to be battling it, but he gets it just right. And it's, when you see the original work, you can see how meticulous he actually is. It seems like he's very blasé with his brushwork and everything, but you see what he's done, and it's very unique.
It is
to Ted, and I think
Stato was saying that the cover there's got a bit of a Howard Chaykin influence about it. With the lead, I think so. Or maybe the other way around. I think Howard Chaykin's Black Kiss maybe has been influenced by this kind of stuff. If you've ever read Black Kiss.
No. But it's something I'm going to have to chat to you about again.
Right. Black Kiss was Howard Chaykin's porno comic, really. It was sold in comic shops, sealed with a black cover, so that nobody could see the actual covers that were inside it.
I'll definitely look it up later.
You're definitely going to have to look it up now. Yeah. One person he reminds me of here is Kel Baker.
Right.
Who's an artist who worked on The Shadow after Bill Sienkiewicz left it and Howard Chaykin left it. And his someone else.
I love Sienkiewicz.
If you don't know Kel Baker, his work in The Shadows worth having a look at.
Definitely. I'm like I said, I got into like all this stuff back early days, back in comics and things, back in the early 90s, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
And I just sort of lost track, and it's only recently just getting back into stuff, like looking at my old comics that I still got. And it's funny how things go. yeah. But I do pop on now and again.
He's lucky because some people turn to stone. It's like the Gorgon, the Medusa we were just talking about. Yeah, you're lucky there.
Good luck with the nightmares tonight with that. But I've got these here. Hold on. Yeah, Metropole, just great. So I've got that. Let me just turn this on. But yeah, there's the Metropole I got then. all my comics are all beaten up and stuff because like I don't give a shit. I don't keep them. I just keep them around, flick around through them. But like, yeah, and the color and things on these. But do you know what I mean? It's not over the top, and there's no crazy colors everywhere. It's flat, but like he does his own color work on there as well.
That's the kind of color in our favor. As unfussy as possible.
He did a zine a few years back. Funky Porcini is a series, and pretty cool. But, like, just craziness.
Nice. Yep.
And he signs them as well. So like, yeah, it's a lot of it is like abstract stuff, but it's nice, isn't it?
It is. It's very nice.
I would like to do stuff like that. Yeah, love Ted McKeever. So I could go on for ages looking. There, put that down. Yes, yeah, Ted McKeever, big influence on my work.
Yeah, I could see that. I saw that when I first saw your work. But again, that's just you can see the influence there is just in working with the same kind of materials, media technique, that kind of thing. It's,
it was one of the moments when I saw it as stuff, and I was like, oh wait, I don't have to do this or that. I can just do wherever,
Yeah.
If I want to make somebody's arms all crazy, I'm fucking gonna do it. And if I want to make the outlines where they're thick, where they should be thin, I can do that too. There's no rules to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good to hear. I like that sort of like approach. There's an awful lot of there's a lot of art critics out there that seem to think everything has to be perfect and anatomy has to be perfect and everything else. It's like if you know what you're doing, that's not the case. You can play around with that. You can twist it. You can stretch it. You can do what you want with anatomy if it's right for what you're doing with your story.
Yes. And as somebody drawing, like, just when the thing is, that's an easy thing to say, but putting it into practice, it does take a while. But having that mentality and just doing that, it's so freeing and makes the whole experience more enjoyable.
Yeah, good stuff. Have you seen these Nosferatu?
I haven't seen that. No.
It's the Batman Nosferatu. It's an Elseworlds stories.
Right. I think I've got like I've got the Superman one. He done Metropole, didn't he?
Metropolis. Yeah, he did. I think he did a Green Lantern as well.
Yeah, and what was the other one? I got a Spider-Man one over there.
Oh right, I haven't seen that.
He's Strange.
Oh yeah, so he's Doctor. That was good. I think I like Doctor Strange when Brendan McCarthy does him as well. These kind of artists are the kind of artists who should always be working in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
They just make the character look about 10 times more interesting. Yeah. So,
I tend to find all this. I'm not one for the Marvel kind of drawing style. Sorry, I'm burping. I don't mind it. Everything's fine. But this stuff, like, I take this any day. Whenever I see something strange, I always opt for the stranger option.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Cool. It's because you're twisted, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're fine when to talk.
Yeah, I'll tell you how to get a hold of those Howard Chaykin comics when we're done.
Yes, please.
But talk about twisted.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is like this is something that just shouldn't have worked, I think.
Yeah.
And it was it was near perfect. I remember it being near perfect when I bought it, because it was originally like a magazine size, which is normal size for the UK.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how it was released in America. They might have shrunk it down in America to comic book size. If anyone knows in the chat, let me know. I'm looking at you, Stato. But yeah, here it was like a really kind of like nicely produced, large kind of magazine size one
That's
shot.
it.
Yeah.
That was it. It was just perfect in every way. I'm not going to pretend it's some great story and everything. It is, but I literally can't fault this book at all. Everything about it works. But it was it was my real introduction to Bisley. I've seen his stuff before and liked it, but when I saw this, he's doing this, I was like, oh wow, and just brilliant. I mean, for a start, Judge Dredd and Batman.
Yeah.
Immediate. I'm going to buy that. And when it looks like this, brilliant. And when you have that story in it, which is so ridiculous, but it just works. It's hilarious. And Mean Machine. How great was Mean Machine in it?
Brilliant. He was like the comic relief.
But like immediately when he lands on when he uses the belt, I think Batman's up on top of the thing, isn't he? And there's Mean Machine there right away.
It's the as Peeps has just told us in his chat, they shrunk it down for America to a normal comic size for America.
Right.
But everything in this comic is like coincidence after coincidence after coincidence. But it's got, Alan Grant, John Wagner is like, they're funny. They've got a sense of humour with the whole thing. And it knows what it is.
That's hilarious. The bit like it, and like you got the Scarecrow and Judge Death, and there's a bit where Judge Death sprays. Oh God, I'm getting confused now.
Can't remember. Judge Death gets scared by the Scarecrow, doesn't he?
Yes.
Or he's confused. He's like, "What? Why is this guy not scared of me?" Yeah, something like that, isn't it?
And it's
that long since I've read it.
And Death's like his nightmare was all these like little fluffy bunnies and stuff like that.
What was good about it is because John Wagner was like one of the guys that was there and created Dredd, and Alan Grant was in for the early days as well with Dredd. But they weren't precious with their own characters in here, and they were quite happy to have them be sort of like the butt of the joke in a lot of cases, and that was really good and fresh about it. It had that 2000 AD sensibility. It
did. It like I said, it's just fun.
Yeah. I think it was also we were lucky because they were writing Batman as well. So, and then Alan Grant had a long run writing Batman. So you had some kind of continuity there with the actual runs within both 2000 AD and in the DC Comics, and that you had writers that were actually writing the characters. And I don't know if you've ever read the first Superman, Spider-Man, Treasury, the first meeting of those two characters. But this is very much like that in the way that it's all coincidence, and it just they've got to bring in the villains of both characters and all this kind of stuff, and it's very goofy. But it's that same kind of feel.
Yeah, like it's like when you get a film and you get the cop who's on the run with the criminal because something has happened, and they both get together to figure it out. That's what it feels like. But yeah, like I said, this was. I do still have the book here somewhere. It's in bits, but it was so great. Oh, Anderson, yeah. When you see Anderson for the first time, that's why that was Anderson, isn't it? That's why I see it. There we go. Yeah, and some of the splash pages. I love the one with there's one with Batman obviously coming out, but Judge Dredd has got his when he's sort of got his gun, just pointing his gun, and sort of knees are a bit bent and.
Yeah, that's it. Because I was looking for images to put on here, and it's like I could just have taken any page.
To be honest, every single page is you get a thrill just by looking at it, like wow, and as you read it, like it's silly and fun and violent, everything you need. To get away from all that, right? Batman's right here. I wish you'd get back to it.
Yeah, or back to it would be good. Yeah,
back to this.
Yeah. Back to this, where it's just fun. But But at the same time, it's got that kind of dark quality about it. You can imagine I can imagine like my 8-year-old self picking this up, not having a clue what it was like and what it was doing to my head, but loving every minute of it.
Exactly. Yeah. It is that kind of. I tend to have like just a handful of comics that I like really love, and I'm not obsessed over them, but like when I'm working, doing my own stuff, it's like I have them in my mind, but it's not like you're even looking at them at the time, but there's a certain vibe and a feeling you want. I loved it when I read this and was looking at it. I read it so many times over when I first got it.
I mean, you'd be younger than me because I think this is one of the last 2000 AD type things that I read. I think I stopped reading 2000 AD. Or I might even have stopped reading it by the time that I started reading this. I was still reading back. I was reading more work written by specific people, so I was following Alan Grant over to the work he was doing at DC, that kind of thing. So I was more looking at writers and artists and following them with their work at the time.
Right.
So so I remember thinking the only real character in this who is a grown-up is Judge Anderson.
I'm trying to think of anybody else in there.
No, she's the only one that actually has her head screwed on, knows what's happening, and knows what to do for most of it. Everybody, Batman, Judge Ray, everybody's crazy in it.
They are Judge Death. Like obviously, like he's creepy, but he's mental as well. Especially like towards the end, and even the general public, everybody, the normal people around, they're all morons. It's typical 2000 AD though, isn't it? But they're all idiots.
Yeah, it's got as a Batman that tells one of the coppers to get a grip at one point or something. So get a hold of yourself, man. That kind of thing. But it's a fantastic
standard. Yeah, love it. Love it.
And you can imagine kids everywhere experimenting with toothbrushes and paint and all kinds of things.
I'm still doing it.
You're still doing it, exactly.
But funny enough, at the time I didn't really think of it, and then it was like I said, about 7 odd years ago, something happened. I was drawing on a computer and working somewhere, and somebody says, because you end up talking about it, you do art, you'd have to show me something. I was like, oh shit, I don't have any, don't actually have anything. So I started painting and like doing more fine arty kind of stuff. That's when I was getting into Caravaggio and things, and then looking into comic stuff, and then that's what brought me back to the comics. I used to like Bisley's stuff, and so I brought my old books out and go, oh man, why didn't I just apply what I'm doing to comics, and I can make these books and stuff like that? And that's where I am now. But yeah, it's funny how the stuff from years ago comes back at another point, and you get consumed with it.
Yeah, it's weird that. I think I've still got the original somewhere. I don't know. Over the years, things have just disappeared that I had. I was like,
that's it. Yeah, I know.
Don't know where my House of Hammers are. But all that kind of stuff. But, but I did buy this. I bought a hardcover a few years back, and this was in it.
I think I'm gonna have to get it. I have to get it again because my copy it's just worn out. It's knackered page. If I couldn't hold it up without holding onto the pages, because I just drop out. Yeah, so it's that knackered.
It's interesting as well because the paper that they use for the original print, everything's not quite as vibrant.
No,
on that original print.
I got another one that was a smaller version. The colours came up much better on that one.
Yeah, I think it's one of these ones where actually, because I'm a kind of stickler. I like when they're reprinting old comics, I like them to do it on a matte paper and not have, they do all these collections and they're always on glossy paper. The digital colouring is like it's too much. But in this case, I'm the other way. I think no, the glossier, the brighter it is.
It works out. It's the same happened with the Slain as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because it
same problem.
Very muted, and you lost the tonal consistency that was in there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to move on to not a comic book at all. The Caravaggio of horror. John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Well, he works in light and dark, doesn't he?
Yes.
Very, very much sort of like a.
And I find it's more. I think the reason why I chose John Carpenter for this as well. It's not in particular any film in particular. It's again everything that I'm talking about is all mood based, as in. There's a particular feeling you get from watching a John Carpenter film, isn't there? And his best ones have that sense of dread and doom, and you're just like, oh shit, this ain't going to work out good.
Yeah. What's interesting about him is, because I remember reading critics at the time doing reviews and bemoaning the fact that a lot of his films, like nothing happened in them. And also, especially the fog here, and Escape from New York, and it's like they bemoaned the fact that the drama didn't come to a crescendo and all this kind of stuff. And I was even at the time I was thinking, I haven't seen the films, they're not quite getting the point here. They're not quite understanding what he's doing.
No,
there weren't many people doing what he was doing, and to be involved in the writing, the concept of it, the direction and the music.
Yes, exactly, and all these things add up. To, like you said, he's a master at creating that vibe, which is unique to him, isn't he?
Yeah,
and basically that's what you want to watch. But that's why you watch his films. You want that vibe. I don't give a shit what the story is, really. If it gives me that feeling, like I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah. So what was the first Carpenter you saw? And when?
Hard to say. It was probably Halloween, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Probably. It might have been Dark Star though, because I remember.
Mine was Dark Star, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, that's stuck in my mind. It's almost like I forget about that one until now. But yeah, it might have been that one, but I don't think
I remember finding the lift scene with the thing tickling the guy in the back actually hysterically funny the first time I saw it. Dark Star.
It's been ages since I've seen it. I'm just getting flashbacks now with that.
Yeah, he's got the alien is like a beach ball with hands.
Yeah.
And he's on the lift shaft sort of thing, and it's tickling him.
Again, you could say that's a film with nothing going on.
It is pretty much. It's just it's a bunch of stoners on a spaceship.
Yeah, I need to watch that again, man. It's been ages. Like I said, I got memories of seeing it when I was younger, but the real one, I think Halloween I'd seen there, but it was the thing that really got me. Yeah, because I think it was. Pretty much.
Did you see that in VHS or DVD?
Yes.
Or VHS.
VHS. Probably on Betamax. I remember watching it down my nan's house. Yeah, well, at the time it was Betamax or VHS. My uncle worked at IBM, so he had like a Betamax. I don't know if that's any difference, but he had a Betamax, and we would just watch films. My nan would be there cooking or something. I remember being there as a kid. Me and my brother like eating fish fingers and chips. My nan doing stuff in the kitchen, and we were just there eating that, watching Inseminoid.
Yeah,
as kids.
That people don't realise that that's the kind of thing that you did.
It was normal.
What age would you have been then? Because
I don't know. I'm 45 now, so probably about.
So you're in your primary school.
Oh yeah. I used to go on a Fridays. We'd go to my nan's to have dinner because it was just down the road from my parents.
Wow!
So we'd go there, and like my uncle had a bunch of tapes. For one of the things he had was Jaws, so we'd watch that religiously every Friday. You wouldn't believe how many times we watched Jaws. We'd come back on Friday, as soon as it was like 6 o'clock or whatever, and the kids' show's finished or 5:30. It was like chuck Jaws on. Sit there watching Jaws draw. draw some pictures on the old IBM printout stuff. Remember the green lines going over in the holes? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's weird because I'm 54, so I was doing it, and it was just before leaving secondary, and it was like me and my mates, we were bunking. We would go and look at the video store, see what's there to rent, and you'd end up renting the thing.
You would
watching it again and watch it about 9-10 times. But either the Thing, the Blues Brothers, or and this is an odd one, Q the Winged Serpent.
Q, that was again. I had one of the coolest covers there, didn't it? Though
it had a brilliant cover. It's also a fantastic film.
It is.
But those were the three kind of go-to movies. I believe they might even have been pirate copies that we were renting at the time, not legit ones too, because that's the way video shops were in those days.
Yeah.
I say in those days, some people may not even realise what a video shop is now.
The best ones were like, it's not like, they were like Blockbusters, and I think it was basically a house where they ripped down the inside of the bottom bit. They have a little counter, and it'd be like these big stacks. And I think this is where I really got into horror films as well. Like, I used to be terrified of horror stuff, hated it, absolutely terrified. Something happened along the way, and I just loved them, and I got obsessed with it. And you walk in the video shop, and you see all these crappy films or whatever, but then you get like, you see the American Werewolf in London cover, something like that, and you see all the rest of them. They'd have the zombie films there as well, and The Exorcist back in the day before they got banned. And the horror ones had the best, coolest covers, and you're just like, I gotta watch that one.
Yeah, well, we used to get a book that they would bring out from under the desk. The kind of video shop that I went to, we'd have, there was this wee woman, she was kind of like, Ruth Gordon, that was in Harold and Maude, this kind of wee, kind of like unassuming women. And I think it was her son, who was this big fat guy who wore like a suit with a tie. He was always in the back, and she'd be shouting to him, "If you get the book of horror," and you'd come with this book.
The book of horror.
And you'd flick through this book, and you'd point at one, and you'd see zombie flesh eaters, and you'd point at it, and they go and get it for you. It felt like it was forbidden. It
did. There was something about it, wasn't it? And guaranteed there was always one kid on his street whose dad had rented it, and you'd be coming out one night, and there'd be like 5 or 6 of you kids like chatting, freaking going like, what was that like? Can't believe it. Like, I remember the Dawn of the Dead, when one of the kids in the street had seen that. It's like, oh, couldn't believe it. Zombie gets his head chopped off with a helicopter blade, and we were like, oh wow, sounds great. Stuff like that,
Because I remember queuing up for that at the Odeon, and myself for an afternoon show, and kind of bricking it in case I didn't get in, But I did.
That's it.
We had like it was a case of, they would look at you and go, "Are you 18?" And you'd go, "Yes."
Yeah.
And they'd say, "Right," and you go.
Yes.
And you could also walk from one screen to another. So you could go in to see a PG movie, and then once you were in there, you could walk into another screen and watch The Godfather if it was showing.
You might be able to still do that. Well, not today, but
no, not today. No. Well, maybe if you've got your COVID mask on, you might be able to.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the first one I saw that was a horror-ish one was Assault on Precinct 13. So I almost saw his movies. In fact, I think I did see his movies all in sequence, because Elvis was on TV as well, the Elvis film that he made with Kurt Russell. And I loved Assault on Precinct 13. I love the fact that they shot the kid in it at the ice cream van. She went to get ice cream and ends up getting shot and dead, and that was it. Boom. And you're like, wow, this is different.
It's going to be fun. Yeah. That vibe he brings to stuff, and getting back to The Thing, it was like watching that down my nan's, and it was actually snowing as well around that time, so it was extra spooky. But luckily it was daytime, so we go out then, and I remember being there, freaked out. I remember standing at the outside the back in the lane, because my granddad's dad was down in there doing something to his car there, But me and my brother just almost in shock, talking to each other. Going, did you see that bit with the head? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Even today, that's brilliant.
I put it on.
Did you have any actual nightmares?
No, I've always been fine. Before, I used to get really freaked out with stuff, and I don't know what happened. Something happened where I think it's just so fearful of them, and then realizing like they're actually really cool.
Yeah, I used to have dreams about zombies who were all in my area. Exactly, it was almost like in the dream. It was like, have you ever seen the Insidious films where they walk out and they're in the same streets, but everything just feels different? I used to have dreams like that, but they weren't scary dreams because I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love
nightmares. Yeah, so that was kind of like.
I can bring nightmares on. Garlic does it for me. If I eat a big bunch of garlic, like loads of it, gonna get nightmares, especially if I eat it late. So every now and again, have a cheeky bit of garlic, have a nightmare.
Yep.
Something proper bad as well. Do you know the ones you wake up and you're confused for about 10 seconds?
yeah, they're the best.
Yeah, terrifying.
Yeah, I once had a nightmare. Not a nightmare. I had a dream that I opened up my fridge and there was like a lot of spiders living in there.
Oh,
wee kind of webs everywhere, and they were over. And so I just like put my hand in and get the milk and shut the door in my dream. But the next day, I'd forgotten about it until the next day when I went to the fridge, and when I opened the door, I kind of jumped and I thought about that moment. That's I think the only time where I've actually had a dream come back and thought, well, that was creepy. Not during the dream, but afterwards. Very strange.
Yeah.
Freddy versus Jason.
Freddy versus Jason. I know I've seen it. I can't remember that one actually.
What one?
Oh, the Freddy versus Jason. It's one of them ones that came about 20 years too late, didn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. It's quite good fun, but yeah.
You'll talk about that on your show, so we
shall. We'll be all over that. Don't you worry. But yeah, I love John Carpenter. I'm so glad you all your picks because I love them all.
Yeah, I've been getting them back on Blu-ray. Did you speaking of that, did you see these?
Yes, I've got those. Oh God, what's the name of the artist again?
John Higgins.
John Higgins, yeah.
Yeah, color painted comics. It was cool.
That stuff's
and
really
pretty good story as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he did another one as well. I can't remember the name of it now, but yeah, I liked his style. But I don't think he was all that big,
No. Did he do some Hellraiser ones actually? I'm sure that's that.
I think he might have, because I think everybody did at that particular time.
That's true. Yeah, God, they did.
I can't think of anybody that didn't have a wee go at Hellraiser. I don't know if Howard Chaykin did, mind you, but he must have done.
I've seen Mike Mignola in there, and Ted McKeever, and Bill Sienkiewicz as well. I had a few little sketches and stuff, didn't he? Paintings. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you now about contentious John Carpenter movies.
Okay.
Everybody agrees that Escape from New York is good, and they love it.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you what you think of Escape from LA.
Oh, from LA, not one of his finest moments, but there are moments in it which are Carpenter.
Yeah, I'm like that. I quite like it. It's like, yes, it's not his finest, and there's lots that's wrong with it, but the stuff that's good. I don't know. I can see what he was doing with it, so I quite enjoy it.
Yeah. If you get into the spirit of it, it's good. It's a good fun film, but it's not a patch on New York, is it? Or the rest of them?
No, because it was. I'm trying to look for it now. It's in the chat here somewhere. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, because the startup was saying there's a lot of pre-90s classics.
Yeah.
But he wasn't crazy about Ghost of Mars.
No, that one it sort of annoys me, that one, because I love the start. That train and stuff is cool.
Yeah.
And you watch and you think, oh man, I remember putting it on, thinking, is it as bad as I remember? So I put it on. I see the start, and I'm like, oh man, this is pretty cool. But it loses its way, like, and when it does, it really does.
Yeah, I think it's the only one of his films that does that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What big that? They Live.
Yeah, of course. Like, genius, great film.
Yeah,
put it on anytime and watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a wrestling guy either. I had no idea how what I was getting into when I was going to watch Roddy Piper in the movie, but he was fantastic.
Yes, great.
I eventually did go and see him wrestle in Perth, believe it or not.
Did you?
Yeah, because a video game I was working on at the time.
All right, that's pretty good. Yeah. Prince of Darkness, I love that
Prince
one.
of Darkness, right? I love Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of his like that Doom kind of trilogy, isn't it? Like he's got that and the Thing. They all have that same vibe, like a Prince of Darkness.
I think his scariest films for me have been Prince of Darkness and The Mouth of Madness.
I like both them films as well. But hard to say. I think the way to look at Carpenter is as in like decades or something like that. His output in certain periods of his life.
Yeah,
you get these ones, the earlier ones. You get the early ones, mid. I don't know. It's hard to say, but yeah.
There's one I love that he made later on, which again not a lot of people love, and that's Vampires.
That was all right. See, it's more of a fun film, isn't it?
Yeah,
James Woods is great.
Yeah, I just approached that as an over-the-top western, like a fun western.
Yes, that's it. That's the way to look at it.
Because that's what he was making. It's obvious that's what he was making. So and I think in the light of watching all the terrible vampire movies we've been getting in the past 2 decades, I'm not looking at anybody in particular. Twilight. I think anybody goes back and watches Vampires will realise just how good it was.
Yeah, it sets you up right at the start, doesn't it? With that house they sort of go into. But you're right about the Western. Excuse me, with the tones, like the colours, that orangey kind of feel and warmth to it. I like that.
Most of the films are westerns because Assault on Precinct 13.
Exactly. Yeah,
is a remake of either Rio Bravo, El Dorado, or Rio Lobo. Take your pick. Because he was a big Howard Hawks fan, and Howard Hawks made the first Thing movie as well. So it's kind of like. And actually, I think you have to watch all of his movies as if they're westerns, because even if it's a case of just you look at Halloween, when you think of the western that he liked, where people were under siege and either in the sheriff's jail or under siege, and the wagon trails of that, they all have that in them.
And it's look, we got to do the soundtrack for The Thing. Sergio Leone.
Ennio Morricone. Yep.
Any more? Yeah, that's it. Sorry. And
I do that as well. They're interchangeable because they're always
exactly. But then another interesting thing with that is Tarantino used that for his Western, The Hateful Eight, which is essentially a remake of The Thing, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, all his films are remakes.
True.
Yeah. Because Ennio Morricone had to beg him to let him write an original score for that as well, didn't he? It was like because he always just uses music from other films. Yeah,
there was there one unused track from The Thing, wasn't it? It's on the soundtrack, but he didn't want to actually use in the film. So.
Yep. The ultimate
cracking soundtrack though. I love that. It's so simple. Dun dun.
It is. Dun, dun. What do you think of his albums? As the music that he's been doing himself?
Again, the whole thing with Carpenter for me is that vibe. So every now and again, I'll put the Assault on Precinct 13 soundtrack or something. Or The Thing. The Thing is a really good one. If you get into a weird headspace drawing something, then you can chuck that on and you're well away.
Yep. That was a deep cut there for Stato. The Ward.
The Ward. That was his. I think that's his last one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's his last kind of theatrical release.
There's a couple he did before he did cigarette burns for the horror thing. What was that?
Masters of Horror. Yeah.
I think cigarette burns is one of his last real good ones.
Yeah. I did quite like the ward as well, though.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. I was hoping. The thing is, it's such a high bar. Do you know?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, there's Memoirs of the Invisible Man. What can we say?
That was all right. And Starman.
And Starman. Yep.
There's a horrific bit in Starman where he first comes down into the house, and he turns from like a tiny baby to like an adult.
Yeah, that's like. I mean that's
like a PG film, and like honestly, look that bit up.
It's exactly what I was thinking. Because I saw that in the cinema. I remember seeing it when it first came out in the cinema and thinking that's like weird,
terrifying.
It's definitely Carpenter, but how's this film PG? Because there's going to be some kids in this audience that are scared. That's a cracking film, and I like Invisible Man as well. Even though it's a good film. Yeah, again, I saw it in the cinema and it worked really well with an audience. So people forget he made these big mainstream movies and they were successful. Yeah. So John Carpenter. What's he doing these days? I think he's just smoking dope playing video games, isn't he? That's what he does.
I think he's. Well, apparently there's going to be a reboot or something of the thing happening. Maybe how it goes, and maybe he'll have a hand in it. But he seems to now he'll go like, he'd be involved in something like Halloween, where he'd be like, all right, I'll oversee something and I'll do a bit of music for it. Yeah. So you're not really getting the full package.
No, it's not. It's not quite the same.
But he looked about 80 back in the 70s, so I'm surprised he's still kicking, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a bit like. Actually, it's quite a bit in common with Willie Nelson. I was going to say he's a bit like the horror version of Willie Nelson. He's always been pretty laid back. He does his own thing. He plays with variations on that, and he smokes a lot of dope, and he never seems to be stressed out. So maybe we could all learn something from John Carpenter and Willie Nelson.
Yes, let's all be John.
Right. Well, that's the last year's choices. I mean, is there anybody else that you didn't mention to me you're thinking maybe you should have thought about? Or
I did mention Viz as another thing, but maybe that wouldn't fit into the hood. There's so many things.
Well, we can talk about Bisley if you want, just as Bisley. I only put the
Viz. I said the comic.
Oh, Viz. Sorry, Biz, as in you be saying his name. Yeah. Viz. So you did, and I didn't put it. Okay, let's do that for the sake of
no. So I think somebody else would probably pick that. If not, let me come on again. We can have a group chat about it, because that's something else, isn't it? We can't just lump that in the end.
Yeah, that's a good idea. What we'll do, we could do a Viz special. Roger Bailey or Man of the Telly special. Exactly, that would be something. That would be post-Watershed.
There's got to be loads of us in our group to chat. We could talk for hours about this. There's so much to talk about, isn't there?
We could. A Viz special. Okay, that's us. We've now worked a show for the future. Brilliant. Nice. What we'll do is we'll get a bunch of folk on. We'll do a round table on Viz.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like where they used to do maybe they still do on BBC Two. They do that kind of art show. There's all the kids sit around and they do and they all talk about the latest Ingmar Bergman film or whatever. We'll do that with this.
Yeah, we talk Roger Merrily and Kerry Fuckwit. We do it seriously as well, straight faced.
Oh yeah, about the deep thematic meaning behind Buster Gonads. Well, that has been ARS, GRATIA, ARTIS, Art for Art's sake, and that was fun.
Cheers,
for
that. Cheers, Willie. I enjoyed that. Nice to it's just nice to chat with you anyway, and with all this kind of art stuff is always good to talk about.
It always is. There's no drama here.
No.
So we're going to quickly kind of like go through a couple of things here and look at a few. We're going to try and get through campaign bit in 60 seconds.
Go for it.
Right, so I'm going to edge up for it. First thing I meant to mention last week, Mondo Creepy. It's a channel where I think it's Lilith Von Bloodhurst. Is it Bloodhurst? Bloodworth, who's a kind of like a horror hostess, and then these guys do a show where they get movies and they show them and they interject with the usual kind of horror host kind of things, and they kindly put a wee trailer for Ailsa Dark, my Indigo campaign, which is going to start soon. They put that in last week when they came back and did an episode. So if anybody wants to give them a wee look or a wee kind of sub, then please do. Coming up next week, here, same channel, same time, me and Stato are going to be talking Freddy Krueger. And
nice.
You are all my children now, indeed.
I love that bit.
It's like that's what we'll talk about. We'll talk about that particular film and how
it's the best makeup, Freddy makeup. Sorry, I'm going. I go off on Kevin Yama, whatever his name is.
It's the I think it's the best one insofar as they nailed it. From the first movie they had it, but the second one nailed it, as in this is what the characters should look like, and then as it went on, it became a bit more like kind of like softer version of that. I think I said that. I think I said last week. Freddy to me is like the Roger Moore Bond. He's like the Roger Moore of horror characters, and that you grow to just you love him. He's relaxed, he jokes, and you just enjoy what he does. Because he's enjoying what he does, we enjoy it too. You know, that kind of thing.
That's it.
Yep. So it should be fun, and
definitely.
I don't actually think there's a bad Elm Street movie, even though some of them are bad. But I still don't see them as bad. So that's going to be a good one. It's going to be me and Stato. And we'll
definitely.
I don't know if we'll rank them as such. That could take all night trying to do that, arguing about that.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be in the chat arguing about it. I know.
Brilliant.
I love these films.
Brilliant. I watched the first one recently. I'm going to zoom through all of them. I couldn't manage to make all the Bond movies. I didn't have enough time. But you can do double bills on the Freddy films.
Yeah, they're pretty short mostly, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're not like Bond films can go on a bit, but like these like hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. Yeah.
Sequels are made for teenagers to watch in the cinema with their girlfriends, so just 90 minutes was just about right.
But they could have got away with 2 minutes then, couldn't they?
Exactly.
A lot of money.
Hello there to Albino Thunderbuns. Hey. Thank you very much for lurking and coming out of the dark.
Yeah, good to see.
Freddy does that with people. He drags them out of the dark, screaming. But yeah, so that's going to be fun. And then I'll be back a week later because you know how I like to confuse people by doing a different show every 2 weeks. With Chubb himself, Carl Stefan.
Oh no,
Salvation. Salvation the hard way. He's going to be here. And again, it's like yourself, it's got a great selection of artists to talk about. Yeah. So
you two will go on for ages on that one.
Probably. I mean, I try to keep these to a nice time, but sometimes you get carried away, especially if you get a lot of artists to talk about. So that's going to be fun. Good. So that's 2 weeks' time, 8th of October. So if you haven't already, if you're in the chat and you haven't, subscribed, please do. And hit that like and all that kind of stuff that you're supposed to see when you're on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Hit that bell. Don't know what that means, but seemingly you might hit a bell too. I know. But yeah, so that's it. So right now, I'm going to stop sharing this screen and quickly share another screen before we go. I'm thinking of sending a wee kind of memo to StreamYard to tell them how they can improve their interface. But
I would.
Yeah, so UI
tell them off.
Yeah, I know. They seriously need to get their act together.
They're probably watching now. Going, oh shit.
Yeah, but they should be.
They should.
Yeah, it's quality stuff. Right, so here we go.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yep, you've heard him talking. you know the work that he loves and the influences that he has. Now's your chance to grab yourself an original. The first, wait a minute, even better. Like, it actually exists. It's out there.
It does exist.
It's real. I can smell that newness coming off of it. Yep, fantastic.
There it is.
Oh,
that's right. I'm moving it too quickly, aren't I? But yeah,
fantastic. Yeah, so that's Phantom. It's a great looking little art book, and it's available in demand. And look how cheap it is. Yeah,
I was cheap as chips. And you get one of these free as well, which is a handmade badge. I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah, handmade, hand painted. Each one is individual.
Brilliant.
There we go. Done.
That's true art coming to you. You're actually going to get an original hand painted, handcrafted, hand created badge. Great stuff. So so that's Phantom. It's in demand.
Yes.
Get a copy. Sign up for this one too. This is some Scottish bloke who's got like a campaign out there with this fantabulous looking woman called Ailsa Dark. And look at this guy down here. And it's got vampots, it's got werewolves, now with monocles and mustaches. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And this guy appears by the second or third page of the issue, and it gets crazier from then on. So what this is a third and last installment of Ailsa Dark, Werewolves and Vampots, but don't worry, you can get all 3 installments in this campaign. And please sign up, because it's going to be something that only people who sign up will be able to get as well. So get your email address in that box, click that, agree to the terms. You don't need to bother signing up with the Google newsletter, they just send loads of junk to you. But do this one, click on there and hit sign up. No, sign up to it, they're fantastic. And please just do that. And like I say, there's going to be a perk in there that is only going to go out to people who sign up from the mailing list, and it will have something in it that only they'll be able to get. Nice.
It is a great book. They are great books, so yeah, definitely back it.
Thanks very much. Charlie's London, From East Lane to the Limelight. Who doesn't like a bit of Charlie Chaplin every now and then? This campaign's already got like 3.5 million people signed up to its mailing list, I think, and it's going to be huge. And it's got lots of it's got 2 weeks' time. I'll be talking to Carl Stefan of Mary Boys, and this image of Charlie Chaplin, the third cover along, that's his cover. That's fantastic. And our own Frederick Head, Captain himself, has this fantastic little free foil trading card. It's a trading card, isn't it?
Trading card, yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of size. So, yeah, I think so. And yeah, get yourself signed up to that, because I'm also doing a comic for that Charlie's written, and it's going to be like a wee one shot, and it leads into the main graphic novel, and it's really good.
It's going to be a good on this too, definitely.
Yep. Right. We'll just gloss past that. Nobody's interested. We'll go to this one. That's The Adventures of Kim Il-sung, which is still going strong. Look at that, 190 backers already on that. You can still get the chromium cover, and it's Commie Mark's masterpiece with the help again of our own Captain Frederick Head, who created this fantastic cover here. It's also got this American Evil Part 1, which is now in this campaign, which I'm going to grab myself a copy of that, because it's got artwork by one Tony Sizzle, and I'm working with Tony on something that's going to be coming out next year.
Nice.
So I'm going to get myself a copy of that. And let's do that. Let's go back. Not Daredevil, the greatest name in comics. It's definitely not Daredevil, and it's worth signing up for, because it's going to be completely bonkers.
Yeah, it is.
It's Golden Age characters, but they are going to be, the original strips are going to be taken, remastered, and rewritten by Commie Mark. And none of us could possibly imagine what this is going to be like. But I'm telling you now, it's going to be mental. And still out there in demand is like right up there with that 510 backers. I don't actually care what money anybody makes. I always look at the backers, and that's great. This is a terrific campaign. Another one that I got immediately when it came out. Let's have a look at that stuff. Same. That's your man who works like Mr. Circus here. He works traditionally.
Get
stuck in, and it's gorgeous stuff.
It's very good.
Yeah, if you don't have Mary Boys, I would highly recommend it. And again, it's really well priced. The thing you're going to get for these UK comics is they're all different sizes and formats, and they're formatted and sized to fit the kind of stories that we're all telling and that we're all putting out there. So Peephole Circus has put together this art book that's unique. The size of it is unique to what he wants to do, and I think that's cool, and that's indie. That's very indie.
Yeah, I think all of our UK stuff is all no two one are the same.
No, that's what's really, really quite good about it and quite nice about it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Thunderbuns.
Oh yes,
I'm assuming it's Mr. Thunderbuns. So you can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, you're going to enjoy it. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah. So, Thunderbuns been around for ages. Yeah, Mortal Worlds. Yeah.
Mortal Worlds. Yeah. Again, this is uniquely, I think, I would say this is uniquely European in feel, let alone just from the UK. And it's Michael and Caroline working on this.
Yeah. Another unique vision, isn't it? Double vision.
It is. Double vision indeed. Yeah. I'm really curious about the story in this one as well and how it's all going to come together. But there's nothing else out there that looks like this. It's funny when you showed me that John Higgins work, that kind of reminded me a little bit of this, and not particularly in the style, but I think in the use of colour and being unafraid to go there and kind of like start using these kind of bright colours and pastel colours together.
Yeah. It looks just cool stuff all around. Another one.
Super Dead. Yep. Super Dead. Here we go. Super Dead. That's Peter Gilmore with Mandy Summers doing the words, Peter Gilmore doing the art, and you don't get more grungy and dirty and horrific than this stuff. And that's good, because you want it to be dirty and grungy and horrific.
That's it, exactly.
There's also a variant cover by John Whalen there.
Coach.
Yep, Coach. That was a TV show, wasn't it? Coach.
Oh, it was as well, yeah.
Craig T. Nelson. Yeah, Poltergeist guy.
That's it. Yeah, I was trying to picture it. Yeah, that guy.
Oh. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he was good.
I love Poltergeist as well. I'm going to need to see that again.
Yeah, that's not at all scary these days. But yeah.
That's another one of those films I watched as a kid. I remember watching over at my mate's house during like the weekend. There used to be a van that came around, a video rental van. You should get things from there. But watch that. That was pretty scary. Actually, I think I'm rambling. We're talking about Super Dead.
Is that an ice cream van with like?
Wow. Yeah,
just like an ice cream van. Wow. Yeah, that's it. We're going to rattle through this, and we are, because you just need to look at them and go, yep, going to get myself these, going to back this.
Definitely.
Last by no means least, Russ's campaign for Only Death Can Save Us. 59%. That's gone up a wee bit since earlier on tonight. Come on.
7 days.
Yeah, we need to push that. If anybody watches, I know some people do actually watch this after we're done as well. You know, some people do actually watch it. So if you are watching this, you've come this far, this campaign needs to be pushed up there because I've backed it and I want to get a copy. So purely for that, I want to get a copy. And it's very much old school.
Very old school kind of comic kind of things. Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to do a Bronze Age special as well at some point.
That's a good idea. That's a nice page there, isn't it? Like that.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
The colours are very, that blue especially.
Yeah. It's like you don't go for. It's what I was talking about earlier, I think. But you don't go for the bright version of the blue and the red. You go for them if you're going to print it on newsprint, because you know that's going to kill the colour. But when you do it digitally and in modern kind of like digital printing methods, where it's going to be on like silk or glossy paper, you always pull those colours down just a little bit. Pull them back a little bit, so it still stays vibrant, but it doesn't feel like it's what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't feel like it's
garish.
Garish, that's the word. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh my God, I got something right. Yes.
You did. I was having like a senior moment there, you know, when I'm like, what's that word? It means garish. Well, that's that word. But yeah, I'll have a look at this. So that's it. That's just a bunch of wee campaigns there, and also there's other campaigns out there that are coming out. So if you do use the hashtag, where are we? Of CGUK, you'll find other stuff as well, and it's all worth a look.
Yeah,
there you go. That's me done some shilling. I don't really do much shilling. Don't do much shilling in these shows because
the list is getting longer, isn't it? Of
it's getting longer. It's getting longer. So yeah, you've got to be.
You said 20 minutes ago we're going to blast through them in 2 minutes.
I know, 20 minutes ago. So 2 minutes. Actually, it's taken about 10 minutes, I think.
I know. Just joking.
That's not bad. Yeah, no, yeah. That's not bad.
It's been a really good show, Wullie.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much for joining me and coming on. I'm just going to go to this screen here so they can look at our lovely avatars.
Yes,
I'll
beautiful.
Yep, we got. Actually, what I'll do. Let's have a look. I'm gonna go. Seeing you've beard yourself tonight.
I'm doing it now, and I'll put my camera on though.
I am here. I've shaved.
Oh no! You lost your powers.
I've lost my powers. Yeah, actually, to tell the truth, I stick my beard on. I've got a whole bunch of different ones, and I use it for different situations. I'm like John Sable freelance.
Do you have a special one for the CG UK show? And what do you call it?
I call it my trying to stay awake beard. I wish I didn't have one last night. Again, because I was so tired. I was so tired last night.
Yeah,
but I do. I tend to have I'm an old man. It's getting late. Let's start the show beard. That's why I start my shows at 8 o'clock and not 10 o'clock in UK time.
It's a lot better. You got to chill out then afterwards.
That's it. I can now go and I think I might watch Freddy's Revenge.
Yeah, I put a horror film on myself. I'm not sure what though. I might watch Carpenter. I might just put the thing on. I was like,
that's the thing, because I've been opening up boxes and putting them into like I built a couple of bookcases on Sunday. I put together a couple of bookcases on Sunday, and I'm filling them with boxes. And one of my boxes, I've got my Blu-rays and DVDs and some books in them, and I had my Blu-ray of Escape from New York and They Live, the ones that came out just a year or so ago.
Nice.
I was looking at them and thinking, remastered Carpenter, I need to watch them quite soon.
That's it. I got like Christine over there and The Fog, and a couple of other ones. I got The Thing and on Blu-ray.
Yeah, Christine. That's a good call. I haven't watched that in a long time. That's another one to give a go. Love this.
It's a beautiful looking film. Yes, I love the look of it. Like again, that look and feel, and that red, the way he shoots it, like the nighttime, that red car. It just the colours are amazing.
Yeah, and it's got George Thorogood. And George Thorogood, Bad to the Bone. The opening sequence. Yeah, we won't sing it.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
I'm going to clip that and make a song so I can loop. Do we get to see pub crawl? Oh no, yeah.
Yeah,
we're not allowed.
We're not allowed. Yeah, exactly. I think, and thanks, Tato. I think we are allowed to have a pub crawl with 6 people from our own family in a bubble, as long as another 6 people from another bubble and another family are in the same pub.
Yes.
But we can't go to another pub with the 6 same people if another 6 people that are in a bubble are in that pub.
I'm not even allowed to leave Bridgend at the moment. Naked.
to put it another way, Albino, we don't have a clue. We don't know what we're supposed to do. We can't have a pub crawl, unfortunately.
We will eventually, hope that. I think.
We will
next year, I hope.
We will. Yeah.
That's going to be messy, isn't it?
It's going to be something. See if we can't get some money together, get Stato to fly over and join us.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
hopefully next year we can. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Well, it would be nice. I mean, I'm supposed to go to a couple of conventions this year as well, and that never happened. I let one of them keep the money, so I could just get myself booked in next year. The way it's looking, that might not happen either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You would think we were, wouldn't you?
That's what's going on. All right, I get it now.
If only it was zombies, that would be fun.
I would, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah, that would be brilliant.
Yeah, so on that thought, thanks very much for doing the show tonight, Mr. Circus. It's been a lot of fun.
No, thank you very much.
And thanks to everybody for turning up and helping us out. So, cheers. I'll see you next week, Stato and the handsome and charismatic Freddy Krueger. Good night.
Good night.